Peace be upon you. Welcome back to Wealth and Wisdom. If you have ever heard that Bitcoin is primarily a tool used by criminals, stop and take a quick sample of your friends and family that you suspect may own Bitcoin, and then ask yourself how many are known criminals. There are widely publicized cases in which criminals have used Bitcoin, and because skeptics cannot otherwise explain why anyone else would use it, use for illicit purposes becomes the default assumption. With a flawed mental framework, the logical explanation then becomes that, from a practical perspective, someone would only use Bitcoin for the purpose of facilitating some illicit activity, generally as a means to evade law enforcement. Bitcoin's fixed supply forms the basis of the fundamental demand for Bitcoin, whether it be related to criminal activity or otherwise. And regardless of how many point-of-sale transactions Bitcoin may facilitate daily, it is used every day as a censorship-resistant and inflation-resistant form of savings. Without doubt, Bitcoin is definitely used by the likes of drug dealers and nefarious characters. However, it would be irrational to believe that is its primary use or to believe Bitcoin should be banned. Because of it, it is logically inconsistent to form a view that Bitcoin is sufficiently functional to be viable as a currency for criminals, while at the same time deny the implication that such a view would merely establish that Bitcoin is functional for everyone. Let's all first admit that criminals rely upon any number of commonly trafficked access points, and not just Bitcoin. Roads, the internet, the postal service, airports, the banking system, etc., all used by criminals and often used to facilitate crimes. But then again, criminals also use all of these not to commit crimes as well. And that is where the logic that Bitcoin must be banned, because it enables criminal activity, completely breaks down. There is nothing inherent about the tools used to facilitate crimes that makes them criminal in themselves. Using the mail to send a letter to mom is not a crime, but using the mail to send drugs is mail fraud. Similarly, using the dollar to purchase flowers for mom, perfectly fine, but buying narcotics with dollars or Bitcoin, that's crime. Despite criminal use, no one is calling for the ban of roads, the internet, mail, etc. And you definitely do not see any prominent defenders of the public interest calling for a ban of the dollar, which just happens to be the preferred funding currency of criminals everywhere. Believing Bitcoin should be banned because drug dealers use it would be no different than calling for a ban on the dollar for the same reason. Anyone that comes away with the narrow conclusion that Bitcoin is for criminals is failing to see the forest through the trees. The fact that criminals can use Bitcoin to facilitate commerce demonstrates that Bitcoin can be used to facilitate any form of commerce. Until next time, Assalamu alaikum.